The Belko Experiment. This movie here was intense and very enjoyable. And the creators of The Conjuring and Annabelle, they came up with this script. And when I first read the script, I've seen something like this from Japan. You know, it kind of reminds you of a lot of those type of films that they get in the foreign, the foreign region that we don't normally get here. So, what this movie is about is this corporation they've been working for, this Belko company. Just one day out of the blue, they have new security forces. The other people that normally work there are not there. And they get a call on the intercom saying that they need to kill at least 4 people in the office. And by any means that they choose to want to do so. And they had so many hours to do so, they have to suffer the consequences if they didn't do it. So they think it's a joke, a gag. They try to get out of the building and leave it, and it seals up completely. Metal everywhere, and no one can escape. Now, they don't pay attention to it. 4 of their heads explodes. 4 people's head explode right there on the spot. And then the guy says on the intercom, like, if you guys don't kill 30 people within the next 2 hours, it's 80 employees here, I'm going to kill 60. So you got 2 hours to figure it out. And there's no escape, there's no phones, there's anything. What would these people do? There's weapons there, and it's like somebody's got to make a decision to save this many people's lives. So when it all came down to it, you start to see people's morals, people who really needed to, be in charge and make these type of decisions for their families, and people fighting the conflict of, I don't want to do this, but I have no choice. And other people who would just cower in the corner and just pray and die. What would you do during this experiment? And you'll see the true nature of people. I give the Belko experiment 4 stars. I enjoyed every minute of it, the intensity of it, the message in it, everything. Love this movie. Which brings us now to Table 19. Table 19 is a great movie. It's filmed by comedians. Actually, a person I know was working on this film. And it's got Anna Kendricks, it's got Craig Robertson and Lisa Kudrow, who was from Friends. And I didn't even know Craig Robertson and her worked together in Friends before. I just saw an episode just last night when he was like a waiter or a bartender or something, or worked at this restaurant. And here they're a married couple. But in a wedding, when people put together a wedding, they really go all out for these things. And then they have a table where it's just random guests. It's like you just throw the misfits all at one table. And that table just happened to be Table 19. And some of these people were like, why are we at this table? Like the lady in the hat. Like, I'm more closer to her than anybody. How did I get up at Table 19? And he's like, look, I know these people, and we this is a bad table. Each one has their own personal problems, but Anna Kendricks is related. She's at Table 19 only because she just recently broke up with the best man, who is the brother of the bride, which is her best friend. And she broke up with him, and they broke up with each other, had a big fight. Just 2 weeks before the wedding. She was the one who was the maid of honor until like 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks to go before the wedding, she got replaced and ended up at Table 19. And the rest takes place from here. It gets crazy. It's a funny comedy. And I recommend people going to see it. I give it 2 stars, 2.5 stars, almost 3 stars. Definitely a must see. And you'll enjoy it if you like comedy. If you don't like comedy, then go. Stephen Merchant is great and plays the same character in every role, but his supporting comedy in these situations is pretty good. So I like Stephen Merchant. Then comes Collide. It might be heading to your video store by now. So this movie had a lot of faults in it. It was a great casted movie. I just can't believe it ended up being as dead as it was from the script outtake of this film. This film was originally called Autobahn. It's made in Germany, so it fit. You know, they have a scene on the Autobahn. I said, oh, okay, I see where they was going to call this Autobahn. And what this is Nicholas Hoult works for a drug dealer played by Ben Kingsley, who's really reviving his role that he played in Iron Man 3. But he was great in his character portrayal of this film. And with Nicholas Hoult, he's just like a film killer, I guess. Every film he in is just, it just looks like it's going to be great, and it just dies on a limb. This film looked like a movie that ran out of money. It had Anthony Hopkins in it. You have Felicity Jones, who just came off of Rogue One. This is probably the movie she filmed right before that and said, oh, that movie's finally coming out? Yeah, burn that. I hope no one sees that. She has no development in this film whatsoever. And the storyline is, this guy who's a drug dealer gives up that life because he wants to marry this bartender. He's in love with her, which is Felicity Jones. Comes to find out she has cancer and she needs a transplant or she's going to die. And she needs a new kidney or something. And it's going to cost like $20,000 to get it done. And very expensive, and they don't have the money. And he's like, I can go back to the life I used to do. And he goes back, and they have one big job for him to do. And if he pulls it off, he can get 200 grand. And that's where the movie starts. Things go left, things go right, and the movie kicks off. It's got a lot of cool action scenes, though, in here. But after that, it becomes a big pile of, we don't know where to go with this movie from here. You got Anthony Hopkins, who seems like they don't have any more money to pay me, so I'm out. Sorry, my good friend. It was fun making this movie. It was very fun. But no more money, no more Anthony Hopkins. Good day, lad. So he was out the door, and Ben Kingsley character like, well, y'all need to finish my shoots right now because I'm not going to be in this film much longer either. So this is a film that seems like they spent all their money on stunts and said, we don't know how to bring this movie around. Let's just use newspaper clippings and headlines to bring this thing to a halt because we're running out of funds. This movie gets 1 star. It almost got 2 stars, so I'll give it 1.5. You know, for the actual stunts that was in this film. But other than that, I mean, you would enjoy it on video. Like, if you watched it on cable, you might be like, oh, it was alright. Had some good stunts. But is it worth your money going to the show to see it? I think not. Have there been worse movies than this? Absolutely. But this was a lot better than a lot of people thought it probably was going to be. But with the cast they had, you probably thought it was going to be stellar, but no. Just wasn't. I'm out.